Hi, welcome to BeerThralls presents Beer Protocol. I'm James.
Sorry, I'm laughing immediately, James, because you started this with no preamble. You
Nope.
just went quiet and then high
Uh-huh.
energy. Hi.
Wild Hair Cider's a Willow. It's a blackberry
Ooh.
cider. So it's a little watery, but it's got a lot of flavor.
This is Jacob. I am drinking some Pinot Grigio. I
Ooh.
used some of it to cook with, and now I have to drink the rest. Because
Oh no,
why?
no, not that.
Why would I keep bottles of wine in my house for future cooking?
Well, yeah, exactly. Tink.
Clink.
All right, so, ooh, I am loud. So let us talk about
Sorry.
Heim,
The moment
Heim,
you
Heim.
Real quick before we start, the moment you
Mm,
said, "Wow, I'm loud," I'm like, "Okay, how can I turn that into a joke about the way he's dressed, like his physical appearance?" And then I looked at your shirt that just says "race." That's all.
the bottom
That's
says
all that's
for the
visible.
cure, uh, with a face hugger. So yes.
And the exact moment that clicked in my brain, all thoughts of Crisis Protocol flew. Of
Let's talk
just
about
James is straight up just sitting there with a shirt T-shirt that just says "race."
let's talk about Heimdall.
Please God, let's talk about Heimdall.
All right.
Um,
So real quick, we're just gonna run through his card real quick, and then we'll talk about how he's just gonna be insane on the battlefield. All right, so he is Heimdall the All Seeing, also known as Heimdall. He
Heimdall.
is a 3 threat character, 3s across the board for defenses, 6 health, 2 height, which is a little short to me, but yeah, medium move. Basic strike,
Now I remember why we don't let you do this.
horn fund. Uh,
Horfund. Horfund.
if the
Horfindle.
attack deals damage after the attacker's roll, push somebody's medium. Two distance, 7 dice, 3 power. Guardian of the Bifrost, 3 power. Choose a character or another character. Choose this character or another character within 4 and place it within 2. It's a basic teleport. Can only use it once per turn.
Slow down. Go so fast. Go
Oh,
so fast.
All
Sweet
Seeing
baby.
Eyes. 2 power. This is the big one. When an allied character within 3 is attacking, defending,
Actually,
dodging.
hang on a second. I've been playing lots of God of War New Game Plus to get excited for Ragnarok, and I'd like to throw a Blade of Chaos at your calf and slow you down, slow your roll there a little bit. It's the visual language I speak now. Guardian of the Bifrost and All Seeing Eyes, and you land on All Seeing Eyes. This is the big one. It's like, no. We've seen teleport effects before, but
No, Guardian of the
Guardian of the
Bifrost, whatever.
Bifrost is huge.
It,
That's like, yeah, it shoots rockets, but it also has this cool decal I put on the side.
but really, All Seeing Eyes. Okay, so All Seeing Eyes basically, if you're within 3, if you're doing any type of attack, dodge, defending, during the modified dice step,
Heim.
Heimdall can use this power, basically giving you the ability to reroll 2 of your dice. The second part of this is when a ally character within 3 rolls dice for a crisis card or a team tactic, this character may use the superpower. You may also reroll up to 2 of your dice. Forfend? For,
Forfend.
forfend.
Like
Uh,
for and fend off. Forfend.
Forfend. 2
Turn.
power. When enemy character ends its movement within 2 of this character can perform a strike. And then because he's Asgardian, he gets an extra power, and his hurt side is just 1 less health.
Okay, so first of all, I miss Matt. Second,
I know.
um,
He's buying a house.
yeah, give Cuddle some slack. So many things you said were correct.
All of it was correct,
Uh-huh.
just fast.
So in my react video to how the BeerThralls screwed up another character. No, I'm not gonna be that mean. Um, Guardian of the Bifrost does specify allied. It is not a global teleport
It's not a
everyone.
gold
He is
teleport,
not
yes.
Thanos for 3. That is a very different package.
Um,
Okay, so overall, Heimdall is a 3-threat character, and it's kind of funny because he immediately brings to mind another character that got spoiled recently, which probably should be the other way around since we've known about Heimdall's stats for I think a few months now. Darkstar also came with a teleport yourself or an ally for 3 on a 3-threat character. And everyone's reaction, kind of like the general meta for our area reaction to that is, yeah, it's pretty good. That
Yeah.
teleport alone justifies a 3-threat character.
Yeah.
So on the same basis, Heimdall's pretty good. He has a teleport.
Dude, okay, so
Therefore,
okay.
however, not to follow up with that, All Seeing Eye is also very good.
No,
I didn't want to knock on you too hard. You are correct.
I
All Seeing Eye is a killer ability.
I really want to talk about All Seeing Eye in more in greater detail.
Really?
Yeah, so I have questions, and I know
Oh,
you
in a
have
mobility
answers.
in a mobility focused game, a teleport for yourself or friends within a huge range 4.
Yeah.
Just reach out and touch someone. Now, being able to teleport them is still only range 2. That's usually quite a bit. That can get you a lot of work done.
Mm,
That's depending on the character that's more actually for almost every character. That's more than a short move.
I mean, almost all the Asgardians are on a larger base, so
Well, that's what I mean, because both a short move and the range 2 stick are measured from the base.
right.
A range 2 teleport is always longer than a short move.
Yeah.
Okay. All Seeing Eye. Now, this is also kind of interesting because I immediately brought to mind Shuri and her ability to give a 1-to-1 ratio for rerolls for attack and dodging. However, this is 2 for 2, so still 1-to-1, but capped at 2. Within range 3, same range as Shuri's, but it counts for attacking, defending, dodging,
So here's my question.
crisis, and team tactics.
So here's my
Now,
question.
hit me with that question.
If, say, there is a crisis that we're doing that is roll your energy defense, and
It,
if it has a
yeah,
crit, because I'm rolling for
that's
that and it's related to the crisis card, does that count?
That is literally the only time you would roll for a crisis. You've nailed it. That's what it's for.
Thank you.
This is not a corner case. That's the
Dude,
exact
I'm
reason he has it.
I'm playing the idiot to educate people. Come on.
That's true. I'm not used to you playing that role. I'm used to you just
Yeah.
being an honest idiot.
I mean, that's true. Um,
Um, so All Seeing Eyes is incredibly good. It's the fact it gives rerolls on attacking is also kind of quiet because it's really easy to just remember. Like every ability we've seen like this in the game lets you get rerolls on defense. Almost always it's you get extra dice for attacking buffs. You almost never get rerolls on attack from a nearby friend. Wakanda's leadership ability lets you do that as well. And I'd have to double check Shuri, see if she lets you reroll attack. I don't think she does.
can you re-roll a reroll?
Yeah. You can reroll the same die multiple times, as long as it's not a skull.
Hmm.
So yes, does this give you the ability to stack rerolls and just throw 2 more in on someone's attack? Sure.
That's nice.
Um, all seeing eyes, it's a straightforward ability. It's super fairly costed. 2 for 2 is honestly 1-to-1 is about as good as you're going to get, and just the amount of times and the situations you can use it are insane. Guardian of the Bifrost is also just crazy powerful mobility. It's
Mm-hmm.
worth noting as a quick reminder that since we're in the new era of tactic cards, um, this is essentially one of Asgard's unique tactic cards. Is everyone on the team, by summoning the Bifrost, who's not holding an objective marker, gets to pay 3 and teleport, I believe, placed within range 3. Having that on a stick without spending a tactic card, super good. Also, do note that Guardian of the Bifrost does not specify anything about objectives. So, yes, you can
Yeah,
teleport someone with extract objectives.
that's nice.
Um, it's very good. It's funny that we're not giving more concrete examples of why these abilities are good, other than they're good,
So,
because they're so broadly applicable. It's
I
like you
mean,
will always find uses for these things in any given game. Like there will never be a game where Heimdall does not use both of these abilities, which is
considering
kind of good.
considering that, it's everywhere. I mean,
Uh
just the
huh.
fact that you can move to no matter what you have in your hands at a range of a four stick. Um, okay, the amount of things you can do. Wakandan herbs. You can
Also
get.
banned.
Never mind.
Yeah, don't tech for Wakandan herbs
I
anymore.
know, god dang it.
Let it go.
Um, it's one of those things that just slips my mind that that is no longer a thing. Um,
Honestly, again, once again, perfectly justified. It was not a good
but
scenario.
okay, how about any time that you have to, if you're sitting on a
Ooh.
point and you need
And
more
lizard
people
pushes you off it.
and lizard pushes you off it, yeah, or something pushes you off it, or you're just not quite close enough because a 2 inch on a 2 stick on Heimdall is possibly to the next point.
Mhm.
Um, like there's so many things you can do with this. It would be insane if it was other people, if it was other uh,
Yeah,
enemy
no.
models.
You're paying 6 to bring Thanos if you want to teleport
Yeah,
enemies like that. Which again, that's fine. Like ever since Lockjaw came out with teleporting ally abilities, it's been a great ability. Like remember how many people were splashing Lockjaw at 3 just to have his teleport.
yeah, not anymore.
It still has different corner cases. I think because Lockjaw has much easier power generation at the cost of not having an output.
This is your new lockjaw.
And come back to what I said a second ago, though, about power generation. If Heimdall has a problem, and it's a genuine problem, he has too many good superpowers and not nearly enough power generation.
I mean, he's always going to start with two. So the problem is that you need to find a way of getting a third power to do most of the cool stuff.
Oh, no, because All Seeing Eyes and Forfen both cost 2. My point
Mm,
being, though, is All Seeing Eyes is so applicable, and Guardian of the Bifrost is so applicable, you will use all of his power every activation. There is no saving with Heimdall.
that is true. Well,
Um,
okay, let's rephrase that. You should not be saving
yeah,
power on Heimdall.
kind of like how Ghost Rider, you'll often see him again. Ghost Rider has abilities that reinforce this, but Ghost Rider will just like naturally, by either taking damage or his friends taking damage, just be a battery and just be soaked up no matter what you do. Similarly, but no matter what you do, Ghost Rider is always going to be almost topped off or near max for
Mm,
power. Heimdall is always going to be bottom.
yep.
Like you are going to bottom him out every round.
I think we're also missing the important thing, especially for a criminal syndicate player. Forfend is amazing.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about the fact he gets free attacks when you walk up to him once per turn.
I mean,
If he has power, which there's a good chance he will make his money back,
if
so to
he's
speak.
if he's sitting on a point and he's just sitting, he is out of power. Power phase happens, gets his 2 power because he's Asgardian. He's now
Mhm.
sitting on 2 power. That means if you attack him early in the round, there's a possibility he just goes screw it, hits you with forfend, and gets power back from strike.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And kind of coming back around, his offensive is stable.
Yeah,
It's solid.
it's
It
not
exists. It's
it's
not flashy
it's
at
not
all.
flashy.
However, I say that Horfund has a nice, quiet little detail there that you should not ignore. There is no size
Yeah,
restriction on his medium push.
yeah,
Get the hell out of here, Dormammu.
yeah.
No one wants you here. I'm a 3 threat model telling this 8 point model to go sit in the corner, our point, our
Uh,
ground.
as long as that corner is within medium.
Hmm. And it does have to deal damage. That's an important restriction. He does have to deal damage. It's
You're throwing
7 dice.
7 dice.
Ooh, no, don't say that. We've seen 7 dice whiff way more. It's also
Sorry,
important to remember.
if you're not a BeerThrall and you're throwing 7 dice, you should at least get 1 damage.
It's also important to remember that All Seeing Eyes says with an allied character, he cannot use it on himself.
That is true.
So Heimdall's rerolls will not benefit himself. So you need to somewhat honestly come by with that 7 dice roll. Um, a 5 dice builder with no frills, uh, it's like middle of the road good.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not. It doesn't hit hard enough to make me go ooh. However, it's not pillow fisted like a 4 dice attack where it's like, oh, this serves a purpose other than just dealing damage. It is good, consistent damage.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
And his defenses are also similarly stable, solid. They exist. Threes
That's
across the board with 6 stamina. There's nothing wrong with that. That's good. That's sturdy. If he is playing in his native affiliation, currently he's only affiliated with Asgard. If he is playing in
mhm,
Asgard, he has Thor's leadership ability to spend a power to either heal one or remove a condition. And again, I'm not unique in pointing this out. I did see this idea pointed out by Across the Bifrost, but they pointed out there, and I'll repeat it here. He's going to bottom out with his own abilities. You may not
mhm.
actually have one power to spend on healing yourself, unless it's something real nasty that messes with your power economy, like poison or stun.
Poison.
Um, yeah, if it's just something like incinerate, you're probably just going to shrug. Um, so where does that leave Heimdall on the table? I think Heimdall is absolutely a stick with superpowers attached to it that at least is not slow. He's a medium mover. I think he's going to get near the middle of the table. He'll try to find something to do with his actions. He is only range
Mhm.
2 in all of his attacks. So he does want to cuddle up with somebody so he can spend his actions constructively and not just be moving around the table. Um, and then he's going to probably just stand near the center of the table, take strikes to build power, and then bottom out that power every round with teleports and allied rerolls.
All right, so you can kind of use them two different ways. And the first way I'm going to say, and I know you're going to say this is a horrible way of of playing this character, and I agree with
Ooh,
you, but
let me
it's a
brace.
it's a way you can rubber band him. So he can get to a spot. He basically does his medium move, gets up to somebody, hits them with a strike, builds some power, teleports himself back to the point he was in. Kind of like just a strike and get the heck out type character. Um, you're using
I
a
do
lot of
have
power.
opinions.
Yeah,
I
you're
do have
using a.
opinions about that.
I said you can, you shouldn't.
That's
Uh,
not. Why would you exist scenarios that are purposely bad?
because you can do this if you are in a position, especially if you're sitting on like 5 power.
You won't.
Um,
Unless he
you
just flipped, you
unless you
won't.
just flipped. Like I said, what you could probably do is that either you teleport yourself and do a strike and horror fund, or you can get in there, hit horror fund, and then teleport yourself out. Also, hitting somebody with horror fund and moving them away medium is sometimes a bad idea because you do want to hit them again. If you move them medium, they're moving the whole distance of the stick. Um,
Unless you're being a troll and you're hitting them away medium as your last action of the turn, and when they try to move back up, you then hit them
you
with
hit them again.
forefend for another attack.
That's the other way I was going to say is using this guy is basically get to a point, have him as like a utility caster where you're just popping people around, you're doing all seeing eye, and then just going, cool, you want to take this point? I got 2 power.
Yeah. It's weird because I really do see Heimdall in like a central board position, camping a point, but he has no defensive abilities or really offensive abilities other than his guaranteed push. Not guaranteed, is almost guaranteed any size push to make him good at that. Like he's way worse at holding a point than Lizard is, for example. As
Yeah,
just again, I always bring up Lizard in these things. That's because Lizard is sorry, I'm very sorry. The Lizard.
the lizard, thank you.
He is
Uh,
one of the best designed
Mr. Lizard.
models at. Mm, he's one of the best designed models at his threat level to do exactly what he does,
Hmm.
which is camp a point.
He's perfectly
And
designed.
Heimdall is nowhere near as good at that. He's not bad at it. Like he doesn't have any glaring weaknesses. He just has no strengths. Other than that's where he wants to stand to have maximum AoE effect for his teleport, all seeing eye. For Fend, he wants to be near a point because he wants his enemies to come up, actually approach him.
Yeah,
Like the ideal turn is Heimdall like walks up, smacks a man, knocks him out, and then his buddy comes up and he smacks that dude too.
I mean the ideal turn for Heimdall is basically somebody walks up to you, you spend your 2 power because it's the beginning of the turn, you
Basically free.
hit them in the face with strike, and go, cool. They hit you back a little bit, giving you more power. You strike them again on your turn. You Horfund them, and then you teleport a friend to go get them.
Or you just strike them twice, build up power, make them soak damage, and if you got lucky at any of those 5 dice rolls, you just knock them, you just daze them.
I mean, it's
I mean, don't feel like you have to Horfund. Horfund is only 2 more dice. And if you're just trying to build up power to use more to use more all-seeing eye rerolls,
mhm.
like Heimdall, like very much I like I like models that have the option of a good builder and into a good spender, but don't have to use their spender all the time
Yeah, he is not
to
Thor.
be good.
He's not Thor. There you go. Don't treat him
Ah,
like Thor. Treat him like he's there to basically, like he is in the comics. He stands there, guards the Hoarfrost, and then
the
Bifrost.
what?
The Bifrost. Sorry, got my frosts a little mixed up.
I mean,
Uh,
you pronounced Horfrost correctly at least. That's
Thank
something.
you. He protects the Bifrost. Somebody comes near, he starts attacking him, and he basically supports everyone else. Exactly how he should be designed.
It's an Asgardian support model.
Yep, which is something we don't have actually. It's like the
So
first really one.
kind of closing the page a little bit on Heimdall as his like own self in a static white void. Heimdall has no tactic cards for himself.
Hmm.
Somewhat weirdly, both of the cards in his box are for Scourge, who we'll talk about probably next week.
Oh yeah.
So Heimdall pretty much is using the standard slate of tactic cards. Depending on the role you need with them, he may not be a bad target for patch up, because your opponent,
Mhm.
when confronted with this utility caster who wants to be at the middle of the table, may simply decide to go, I'm gonna mess up your backline support, or I'm gonna hit him real good. And on the one hand, that's damage that's not going at your heavy hitters. On the other hand, that's a lot of very good support that maybe you don't want removed from the table in a lucky one shot. So try not to feed Heimdall to your opponent. Like definitely
Yeah.
don't position him so he's towards your opponent on the other side of the center if you can't help it. Like get him into contesting distance, but also maybe put him in cover.
Yeah. Don't
So
leave him isolated.
yeah, tactic cards that help with stuff like that. Patch up can keep him on the table. It's not super efficient. Sacrifice can throw an attack at Heimdall into someone like Thor, or just anyone with better damage resistance. Um, One thing I did see suggested I kind of like disarm is if someone's going in on
Mm,
Heimdall, they're already going to be close enough to Heimdall. That's one.
yep.
Get another ally, and then they both disarm
Yep.
that
Yep.
person. Um, put effort into keeping Heimdall alive, and he will give you lots and lots of good support.
Trip up is
So
still valid, right?
I think Trip Up is valid.
So
Yeah.
trip up is good too because he definitely wants to be within 3 of everyone. So having trip up is probably also a good card. Any card that has a synergy with somebody else is probably good with Heimdall.
I don't remember the name of the card off the top of my head, but there is a tactic card that gives a model stealth at the start of the round for a round. Putting stealth,
Oh,
depending on the opponent's team makeup, putting stealth on Heimdall isn't
putting
terrible
stuff on Heimdall is
because
awesome.
it does force them to walk up potentially. Again, Heimdall's gonna get kind of dunked on by anyone who's predominantly range 3 melee attacks
Yep.
because he can't forfend that.
Yep.
So like Venom, if Venom is still wandering around,
He is.
or Carnage with their range 3 heavy physical damage output are gonna move right
Yeah.
past forfend and hit you anyway.
Yeah. Um, Splashing him in other lists.
Okay, this is a whole conversation I've been trying to figure out how to segue into. Heimdall is pretty good in Asgard.
Yeah.
Um, Thor's ability is there to get him out of a tight spot. He supports the Asgardians really well. Heimdall is potentially a monster splash pick.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great amount of support that is not faction specific at all. Any affiliation that gives him power is going to enjoy it. One of my personal favorite ideas is throwing him into Steve Rogers' Avengers,
Yeah.
because getting that one cost reduction on any of those powers is insane.
Per turn.
Um, yeah, no, it's really good. All Seeing Eyes for one, just straight is a straight trade up for efficiency. It's so
Yep.
good. Forfend for one. You will not only probably get that one power back, you will, on average, get more power back.
Yeah. Horror fun
Um,
for days.
well, Horfund wouldn't be discounted because it's only powers, not attack.
Yeah, but yeah, true.
Guardian of the Bifrost, the teleport for 2 is look. Teleport is good. Teleport for 2, more good. Like
More good.
it's more good.
Better?
What do you want? What do you want from me?
Proper English.
No. So Heimdall is an extremely good splash pick, and he's entering in that nicely contested race of who's a good teleporter to bring as my
Yeah.
3 slot. Like one of the only problems is that 3 threat is very competitive. So a lot of lists are probably going to be looking at their 3 threat spots, just going, well, I can't shelve this person. They're a core part of the affiliation.
I mean,
Heimdall's good enough that you can make the argument, I feel like, because teleports and rerolls like this in one model are actually there's not a lot of equivalent.
yeah,
You have
Criminal
lockjaw for
Syndicate.
teleports.
He's good for Criminal Syndicate. I'm not sure if I'd bring him. He's definitely
Cabal,
Cabal's not bad, but the thing is you
he
need to
doesn't really
have,
benefit that much.
yeah,
I would say I would say A Force or Brotherhood are also fantastic greedy little
A
goblins
Force.
that would want Heimdall on their side because they can both redirect power to him pretty trivially. And then he can just start fueling things across the board. And also,
Spider
again,
Foes?
maybe
Because
it's
it
how badly does
technically,
Spider Foes want teleports? Like Mysterio wouldn't mind a teleport.
yeah, not horribly, but at the same time, you get a reroll on attacks, and then you get a reroll on attacks.
Yeah, and Goblin does have a nice fat dice pool to
Mm-hmm.
throw dice with. That with special effects on Wild, so getting rerolls on Goblin is never terrible.
Yeah,
Uh, Here's the thing: Heimdall's good. Like he just fits in a lot of places.
he does.
It's really hard to give a specific recommendation for him
But the problem is
because
also,
it's like saying peanut butter is good on bread.
yeah, it's also like one of those things
It,
where
you know
do
what it
you,
is? It reminds me a lot of conversations we had around Hawkeye, like a year ago. Of Hawkeye is a very good range damage dealing
hmm
3 threat, and he just kind of works well with everything. And that was part of why he just didn't really get taken because he didn't excel so hard that he was unbalanced and you had to
yeah,
take him.
it's the solid characters. It's the solid characters that are just like they don't do anything ungodly and amazing, but they're just really kind of good at everything.
And Heimdall has solid defenses, no glaring weakness, respectable damage output, no glaring weakness,
hmm
no interesting strength other than the push. But man, his superpowers. Maybe don't take Heimdall against Loki because
Oh
the same
God.
reason, that he loves being under Steve Rogers. Loki's gonna make that a bad time, and
Actually, having Heimdall though with Loki,
using his teleport to set Loki's next activation up to just beam
yeah.
down a bunch of people. Also, don't forget, Enchantress is also an Asgard,
Oh
and
God,
getting
that's
teleporting
right.
Enchantress within range 1 of somebody before she activates also feels pretty good.
Yeah.
Or even just setting her up for her beam, and she could just farm power with a beam 3 sap power.
Yeah, that's Heimdall.
Teleports are good. Rerolls are good.
He's just a support caster. He's a support caster that can guard a point.
He's a support caster who, if he needs to move up and shove a big nasty off a point, like it is a push based off of
Dormammu.
physical attack, so some things do resist that. Um, you will need to watch out for Indomitable
hmm
shutting you down. But on the other hand, you still got to throw a 7 dice physical attack. And so if the Indomitable prevents the push on that one, you did force your opponent to burn Indomitable. And you might potentially have, if you are playing Asgard, more throws.
hmm hmm
Like Thor, Valkyrie, I think even Enchantress has a throw.
I
Maybe not on
mean,
enemies, but just yeet stuff.
if you really want to be an ass, you can put him with anyone that has Tony Stark and has the orbital cannon of death, giving them a 2 dice reroll because it's a tactic card.
That's not quite how that works. Because the tactic card gives them an attack and then it's an attack roll. So
Still,
anything.
2
Well,
dice.
you still get the reroll, but anything benefiting attack rolls could help that because
Still,
it's not a
that's
tactic card roll. A tactic card roll will be more for things like, oh, rocket boots. That is also banned.
I'm so glad we're so used to this banned list now.
We're gonna figure it out. Um, anyway, we've probably gone on too long
We
already. Thank
have.
you so much for watching. Hopefully, you can find room in your heart for a multicolored, rainbow-hued Guardian of the Bifrost.
No, no, no.
James, how do I paint rainbows?
You start with one color. You put the next color next to it. You take both of those colors and you like. Well, you start with like one color, and then you go to the next color and you kind of like wet blend it in. So like you just kind of brush it over and then go to the next color and then brush it over. Or if you want solid, nice solid lines, just do RGBiv across it and then count how many posts he has. So like if he's got like 20 posts, each one's like 2. All right, bye everyone.
Learn how to wet blend.
Learn how wet blend. Get good. All right, bye guys.
I